Okay, so remember, this is all the steps we've done so far. Last week we covered what A to B intentional alignment is. You obviously don't have to read it right now because you can read it later. Now, here's what I will tell you. I have worked with hundreds, maybe even 1,000 people now that help them all lose weight, and I can help people lose weight and crack their plateaus relatively easy. But 80 to 90% of the people who lose weight, unless they have an inner alignment shift, which is almost like an identity shift. This involves neuroplasticity, energy, coherence, and of course epigenetics. They gain it back. And the world has like an 80 to 90% recidivism rate when it comes to gaining weight back, fat back. So if we don't take care of our inner stance, your inner alignment, things get wonky. So let's say your goal, A is awareness of where you are. A is also where you're starting from. B is your objective. That's what you're becoming. B is becoming. And inside there, this is your intention. Now you can have an intention for finances. You can have an intention for health. You can have an intention for fat loss. You can have an intention for relationships. You can have an intention for almost anything. But most people they know where they are. They know where they want to go, but somehow they don't make it from A to B. Or they do this thing called loops. They go in the same loop again and again and again. And instead of making it to B, they get caught in another loop. We are all guilty of that. Today, I want to tell you what's going on with your brain and your inner stance, and hopefully give you some tools that work for me and for others to get out of the loop. Information. There's so much. Two of the big problems we have right now in health is there's an abundance of access to food, tasty foods, easy to get foods, and we can get it very easily, have it delivered to us. You can get very unhealthy, inexpensive food, and we're not running out of food. If you live in the United States, we have a plethora of food. It's all over the place. So there's an overload of food even. So you almost have to say no to lots of things that are available when our ancestors, they barely could find enough to keep them thriving and surviving. But now we have so much, it's always there. So we could eat 24/7, and some people do. That's why we have such a high obesity rate. And almost everyone I talk to says, I don't know why I have this extra fat. I hardly ever eat. It's because when they do eat, they're eating foods that, well, are not nourishing their body. And almost everyone that has more fat than they want is eating more than they think. It's just the bitter science of it all and the bitter truth of it all. Because if you are eating fewer calories than you burn, you're going to lose fat and muscle, but you're going to lose weight. Science. And if your hormones are messed up, you will still be unhealthy, but you definitely won't gain more weight. Now, the reason we get stuck in loops besides the food is the information. There's like people are looking for this better information. There's something that's going to help. It's a magic formula. And this, keto and intermittent fasting and hormone balancing and let's see, there's the injections. And then I could also do paleo and the whole 30. Which one should I do? And they bounce back and forth and they get information on one. And then something else says, no, you shouldn't fast if you are in menopause. Oh, what you should fast. Oh, but you shouldn't work out. There's all this information. And so they keep bumping them from information source to information. And instead of taking aligned actions, they go information hunting. And then they get stuck because information without application, information without action becomes mind clutter. And not only paralyzes us with information, it makes us confused and sort of chaotic in our brain. But when you have aligned actions, I'm going to do this, this, and this every single day, no matter what, then it's simple. And that's also when you shift. That's when you shift your brain science. It's when you shift your neuroplasticity and your epigenetics. It's when you can tap into your aligned inner stance. But here's what it takes. For most part, information is not what's missing. Transformation is what's missing. Altering who you are and identity shifts. And when I say stance or state, I'm not just talking about your mood or how you're feeling. Your stance is where you're coming from, how you see yourself in the world. But that has to shift. Because when you align your inner stance with your intention, you get into a straight line again. So D&D, not Dungeons and Dragons, but discernment and distinction. So is what I'm thinking, what I'm saying, and what I'm doing, does it align with my intention? That's discernment. Is it aligned with my intention? Stressing about something you can't control, like what is that person going to think about you when they come over? Maybe you have family coming over and you're worried what they're going to think and you're stressing about it and thinking about it. Cortisol levels are going up. That is not aligned. So right away, discerning that. Oh, not aligned. And choosing. By the way, this is a choice. Choosing to align again. Choosing to shift your state, your inner stance. And that inner stance means, what thoughts do I think that align with my intention? What actions do I take that align with my intention? Now, after you have discernment, is it aligned or not aligned? Then comes distinctions. And they're like opposites. Empowering, disempowering. That's the biggest one. Is this an empowering thought or action or disempowering thought or action? Now, notice I haven't said the word feelings. Feelings are one of the big reasons we get stuck, stress levels go up, hormones get out of whack, and we stop doing what's going to work for us. So, feelings matter, but I would be lying if I told you that I can tell you how to control your feelings. You don't have a lot of control over your feelings, but you do have control over your actions, your thoughts, and your words. Your feelings will follow. If you're fasting because you have to, I'm fasting because if I don't, I'm going to be unhealthy. If you're fasting because you just got to get through it, and after you get through it, I can eat, that's a different emotional state and energy coherence than I am fasting, I'm postponing food so I can heal my hormones. I choose to fast because it shows discipline and aligned action and a commitment to my health. Completely different inner stance. Fasting because I have to or else. Fasting because I choose to because. So just being aware of what your inner stance is, something like fasting, changes the effectiveness of the fast. So I am choosing to blank. Fasting's tough. People get stuck. And say I'm going to try to make it, say my intention is to go to a 48-hour fast. That's it. And that's an intention. That's a small intention inside of intention. The bigger intention is to heal my hormones and lose fat. But a smaller intention, a goal inside of the intention, is to do a 48-hour fast. So instead of waiting until you feel confident enough to do it, until you feel strong enough to do it, until you feel energized enough to do it, instead of waiting until your schedule is perfect for it, do the action. Do the action no matter what. What if you have this belief, right, that says, oh, I can never make it 48 hours? That's a belief. And it's haunting you. I've tried it before. It didn't work. Oh, I'm going to starve. It's going to be so uncomfortable. Big one. Oh, I could probably do it, but it's going to be so uncomfortable. It's going to suck. That's a belief. That is not aligned. Is not aligned. So right away, use discernment, realize it's not aligned, and decide, okay, I don't really have the belief that it's not going to suck yet. I don't even believe I can do it yet. So here's how you reverse engineer and rewire your brain and your inner state. You start fasting and you only think about the minute, the 10-minute, the 1 hour block you're on. That's it. That's it. You do, I call it the action, word, thought, reverse engineering. Now, usually we think about something and then you say it out loud, I'm going to do this, and then we take the action. That's not going to work if you're overcoming root beliefs or disempowering beliefs or disempowering programs. So instead, don't think about it. Don't say a word about it, but start doing it and say, I'm here. I'm 14 hours in. My words are going to say, I am choosing to fast 14 hours plus another one. And then you think about, you say it out loud or you write it. I am choosing to fast 14 hours plus I'm going for another one so I can be healthier and lose body fat. And then after saying it or writing it, because it's important you actually put the dense form of the words out in verbal or write them down, and then that's what you think about. That's it. You keep thinking that thought. That's the only thought you think. I am fasting this hour. I am choosing to fast this hour so I can heal my hormones and lose body fat. And that's all. That's all you think. The other thoughts are going to come. Oh, it's so hard. Oh, it's so hungry. No, stop. Those are not aligned. This is the hard part. It's simple, but not easy because you simply just have to discern and make distinctions. So, but these 3 steps, do the action. Don't think about it. Don't say anything about it. Just start doing the action and then put words to the action. I am choosing to fast. I've made it 25 hours. I am choosing to fast another hour so I can heal my hormones and lose body fat. Doesn't matter how you feel. Doesn't. And then think that. Your feelings will follow. If it feels hard and feels uncomfortable and feels scary, that's okay. You have to do it despite the feeling. This applies to every single behavior change in the world. Every single one. And I am boiling down neuroplasticity, energy coherence, and everything. But the important thing is taking the action no matter how you feel. And action is, I'm feeling a little lightheaded. I'm going to do these steps. Drink the water, move around, drink more water, move around. And then if you decide to eat, you eat. You break your fast. No problem. But don't allow the old belief programs to be the reason it's hard. Instead, reprogram it. Let's go to another example. I'm going to work out. I'm going to do an AM workout, which is the best time for most of us to do it if we have a time crunch. Okay, first you have a cue, and that cue can be the time. I'm going to work, you set the intention, I'm going to work out at 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. or 6:05, or if you wake up late, no matter what, you start working out. That's it. Start working out. That's it. Don't think. Don't think about it. Don't put any words to it. Don't let the old programs come in because all those thoughts are coming from old belief programs, old root programs. They're going to tell you don't have enough time, you don't have enough energy, you're too tired, I can do it after work, I can do it later in the day. Oh, I can wait till tomorrow. All these thoughts are going to come. Those mess up your alignment. They mess up your energy, and they're familiar, and they're what keep you stuck in a loop. So don't even debate them. Don't even argue with them. Don't judge them. Just don't think. All you do is think about the next step of your workout. Putting on my clothes, putting on my sweats. I'm putting on it. I'm choosing to work out. And you do it, you take the steps. And then you say out loud or write down, you must say it. I am choosing, and those are important first words. I am choosing, and it can be just I'm choosing to work out. If you want to have a reason behind it, you can. But that's it. You just keep taking the next steps, the next actions. Other thoughts are going to come. Other beliefs are going to come. Other feelings are going to come. Doesn't matter. This is how you rewire your brain. Forget the feelings, forget the other thoughts. Just focus on what you're doing in that now being moment. And this is going to change your inner stance. This is going to rewire your brain. You do it this day, you do it the next day, and it will become a new program, a new habit, a new pattern. It will be easy, like brushing your teeth. So after you either say or write, and if you need to write it down. But it has to be dense energy. And then last step, the whole time, I am working out. That's all. That's all you have to do. Don't wonder, I'm working out, but I don't feel great. I'm working out, but I feel tired. No. Don't even label the feelings. The feelings are not your friend right then. They will be later because they will start matching your inner alignment. Your inner stance, your inner alignment is like the magical place that, because here's physical. Here's your physical body, physical world. This is the stuff we can see, we can feel, we can do. It's action. All right? That's the lowest plane. That's like the 3D plane. Up here, we have the spiritual source or quantum. You can use any verbiage you want, but it's an energy that we can't see, or it's your spiritual figurehead, whatever you call it. But you don't get to control that, but you can connect with it at all times. And if you have a purpose and an intention, it's powered by this. Okay? So that's the 5D up there. Boom. Now, here's where the magic happens. This is your 4D. This is your inner alignment. Because you have intentions to be healthy, you have a purpose to feel a certain way, and it's all coming from up here. It's all coming from your blueprint. But this inner alignment, your inner stance, blocks it. Old beliefs, old programs, old stresses, old memories, time strain, financial strain, other people's strains, it's all part of your inner stance. But when my inner stance is, everything went wrong today. Everything. I mean, it was like, I even broke my blinds. And I'm not sure how I did it, but they're broken now. I'm like, my computer won't start up, my laptop. Rocket is hurt and he's whining all night. So I'm like sleep deprived and I don't do well on that. Any case. But my inner stance is I show up and do my absolute best no matter what. My inner stance is how will I feel given the situation and how can I help and learn more from it. And I align with my inner alignment, my inner stance, and I do it no matter what. I get on the Zoom. Only one person was on. I'm like, oh my gosh, only one person. My old ego, my old fears will say, obviously they're not coming. It must be because I suck and they don't like it. And they think, oh, there we go. I just do the action. I just keep doing the action. And already I feel much better than I did right before this happened. The feeling will follow. But it requires doing the action regardless of what else is going on, putting words to the action. Because my words were, I'm choosing to show up and do my very best no matter what. And I actually wrote those words down. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm showing up, I'm present, I'm going to solve some problems, I'm going to help some people. And I got right into helping Dorothy. No, let me tell you, I help heard thoughts come in. Only one person. I'm just gonna cancel it. I mean, it's been one of those days anyway. I mean, those came, but right away, you have to use discernment. That is a disempowering thought and belief that doesn't align. It's not part of the inner stance I want to take. My inner stance is someone who shows up and keeps his promises. My inner stance is someone who makes the most of the situation no matter what's given. My inner stance is optimism that something good will come out of it sooner or later as long as I keep staying true to my inner stance. Your inner stance is the level of thought, feeling, belief, words, and emotion that happens between up here in the physical world. Your inner stance is the only way your intentions come true. I can give you all the actions in the world. And I call it alignment because when you align your inner stance, your inner state, and be careful with the word state, you don't have to feel a certain way. You just have to take the action. That's it. But when this energy right here is aligned with your spiritual quantum energy, your physical body, your physical world benefits. So when you lose 20 pounds, in order to keep it off, you have to change your inner stance. I'm choosing to be someone that is healthy with less body fat. And your neuroscience changes. Your epigenetics change. This is not woo-woo stuff. This is how epigenetic shifts happen because your cells are replacing themselves. You are a different person than you were last week. Literally, almost every cell in your body is different now. Because cells die, they replicate, create new ones. Your epigenetics determines what type of cells are being recreated. And when you do this again and again and again, you actually change your gene expression. But it's work, being aware all the time of what's going on in your inner stance and using discernment. Is this aligned with my intention? Or is it misaligned? Is it empowering or disempowering? Those are the keys. It reminds you of what discernment is. It reminds you of using discernment and distinctions. And it lets you know that new choices are available to you. When you just stick to the action and carry it out no matter what, you will see new things. And guess what? You break out of the loop. Because now you're going in a straight line towards what you want to accomplish. You're not getting stuck in a loop. Getting out of the loop and getting onto a straight line, and I even say here you can draw a piece of paper and see it. I mean, it helps. And just be aware, am I on the straight line or am I going in a loop right now? So people can be divided into two groups. Those who go ahead and do something and those who sit still and inquire. Why wasn't it done that the other way? Why shouldn't I do it this way instead? No, just do the thing. Is this empowering or disempowering? And after you get it, it becomes automatic. Insight, something you see inside of you. And that's how you have the identity shift. But this is work. So instead of being a looper, be an aligned person. And that doesn't just mean align with your higher self and your physical and your inner self. It means aligning your actions, your words, and your thoughts in a straight line from where you are now to what you want to accomplish and what your objective. Straight line alignment. So I'm inviting you to break out of your loop right here, right now. Discernment and distinctions. Remember those words. Awareness, discernment, and distinctions. So get out of the information loop, the worry loop. The worry loop, that's a big one. Hoping loop, wishing loop, wanting loop. Loops that don't help you. It's just bogging down your inner stance. If your inner stance is, I take action regardless of how I feel. I take action towards my intention. I am choosing. That's key. I am choosing. No one's making me. I'm not going to get punished if I don't do it. I am choosing to do it. But you have to say it. Belief means fever and hope. Fervor and hope. Like very intense hope. Hoping doesn't get you anywhere. Action does. Intentions do. Hope feels good. It's kind of like a break from having that be responsible for what you're doing. But get out of the loop and get on the straight line with discernment, with distinctions. I'm going to break this down for you. So take the action. Then while you're taking the action, put it in words. And if your action's working out, then say it out loud. If your action's doing something, write it down, but manifest the words. Then the thoughts. This is really important. All you allow yourself to think about is your aligned action thought. I am choosing to blank. Think it again and again. Because when you think this again and again, while you're doing it, you're reprogramming the old, you're pushing the old program to the side, and you're establishing a new program. And guess what? The feeling will come. The aligned feeling will follow along, just like it did for me during this lesson. I mean, it really happens. But at the beginning, your feelings are not, they're going to be based on old memories, old programs, old inner stance. You can have your inner stance without the feeling. But the more times you do this, you'll start getting the feeling right from the beginning when you do it, because you've changed your physiology. So your inner stance matters. So number one, take the action no matter what. Number two, say or write the words that come along with the action. Don't just think them. Say them out loud or write them. Or both. And then number three, all you need to think about while you're doing the action is that you're doing the action. This is how you rewire your brain.